to the government leaders, to the communities, and also to private sectors, which impact so much on the footprint. That is to say, without restore and bring back, nurturing the nature resources, how can we get sustainable development? How we can get rid of the poverty? And that I have a personal experience in my past 30 years in my country to get eradicated of 500 million of the population eradicated from the poverty. And the second relationship is between climate change, sustainable development, and other MDGs with our heartland of biodiversity and also nature preservation. The key is that how can we bring the message? How can we have a right strategy and a policy to see that close link that actually the core, the life supporting system is nature conservation. The third is how IUCN to push forward this very complex, this huge task of nature conservation, allied with as many partners as possible. As for my commitment, I think that to do that, not only we should cure the symptom, but more so is to cure the disease. So that is to say, in a Chinese proverb, we said that instead of for boiling water in the cauldron, instead of just pour a ladle of cold water to stop boiling, the most important way is to pull the firewood from it. Okay. So that is my suggestion and also my proposal. The third one, what is an innovative way to raise funds? I very much appreciate the word innovation. And the IUCN, I understand, given the budgetary constraint, we only have 120 million of the budget. After that, 30% are the framework donors. And so how to further enlarge the base?
Time is up.
Okay, thank you. And how to further enlarge the base of the fund is something fundamental. I think that I will share with you later on my experience in enlarging the fund. As for the time commitment, you know that I committed to this, and also when I left the government, I also started an NGO of the Eco Forum Global. So I'm totally wherever it's needed. But most important is to make a difference. Give me an opportunity if you support me. Together with you, I will bring you back, really make a difference of IUCN. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our three candidates. We have listened, we have heard them. Please, your questions to specific candidates, identify the candidates so that they are able to respond directly. Oh, I hope, are we ready for questions? Ah, they're ready. Let me start there. Yes. Somebody is helping.
Thank you. My name is Richard Solarius. I'm with the Sierra Club and also Commission. I'm curious about your understanding of the One program and how it can be made a reality in IUCN. And all three candidates, please.
All
three.
Less than a minute, please. The 3, 1 minute.
Thank you. Thank you for your question, sir. The One program commitment is standing for your consideration. I mean, it's a ready-made document in which quite detailed way is described how to do it. You will find in the among the structural documents. This is about a kind of contract between the membership and the secretariat, in which the members are taking their thoughts, coming together, formulating programs under the flag of IUCN, which they are ready for implementing parts of IUCN's global program. And in this commitment, the commitment by the members, by the Secretary, and by the Commission, the triple units will work together in an ideal way. I hope, in my vision, is a really ideal cooperation. This is the new deal what I'm offering for you. The membership and the commissions are working on the field. The Secretariat is coordinating and cooperating, and assisting. We are introducing two-way communication and genuine listening for each other within the Union and implementing new governance principles as subsidiarity and non-competing inside and so on. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Well, I think this work is underway. There is a program being developed, and it puts, of course, a lot of responsibility on the future council and the leadership of the union to really make sure that it's being implemented. And for natural reasons, I haven't been member of the council, so I don't know exactly how they have worked in the past. But it's obvious to me that you would have to try to reach out better to the regions, because the regional offices are closer to the members, and then also to involve the commissions to the extent possible in policy formulations and draw upon their expertise as much as possible. So I think it's very much a question of learning by doing and all the time reform your working methods and listen to each other. And I think that's probably the most important, to be open, to listen, to take advice.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that very three. This one program approach give people right direction to us and also give us hope. External is how to communicate and outreach to all our partners and allies as more as possible, no matter in global, international, national, regional level. Internally, I think as a leader, if I elected, number one thing is to build up my team, that is the council. Meanwhile, build up the culture of the harmony. That is always the case. It's not bad thing. Unity in diversity. And number three is to build trust. That is by action, not just by words. So that the council can really work together with secretary, with the members. We align that, the three pillars work together towards our goal of the one program that makes us a real leadership result in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Mohammed Salim from Saudi Arabia. My question is to all three, please. What are your views and position on sustainable use of natural resources, of biodiversity? And how committed are you to your views? And also, how are you going to influence IUCN to continue or change according to your views? Thank you.
I do recall many years ago, I was traveling in India with late Anil Agarwal, who was one of the leading stars when it came to environment, ecology, and social justice. And he said, Anders, if you believe that we can protect nature only by reserves and fending off people, we will need very high walls, we will need soldiers with guns. So we need to develop management schemes for sustainable use, like we just said. Now, these schemes can look very different, and I think we are well placed to help design methodologies for sustainable use. Whether we talk about fisheries, whether we talk about land, whether we talk about forests. There are methodologies that have been developed and are being reformed. The difficult thing, again, is to have these principles embedded in the policy frameworks for the economy. As long as these principles are not recognized or not well recognized and incentivized in the economic policy framework, all the bold principles will come to nothing, because again, it's the economy that drives everything. And if companies and even governments are incentivized not to be sustainable, unfortunately most often they will not be sustainable. So I think again, and I refer to T, how we value natural capital and ecosystem services, and how we reflect that in both operational schemes in companies, but also in the economic framework, is going to be absolutely crucial. It's a very difficult task, simply because conventional economists, most of them, have not listened to this. We have to make them listen.
Thank you.
Sustainable use actually is the core. And how can we achieve both sustainable development while also conservation of the nature? In my past experience, I can cite many examples. I just use the example formerly in our city, and also when I start NGO, Echo from Global, in the China tourist region, Guizhou province. And I showed that to Tony Black when he came here, and also Prime Minister Shaw, those attend our forum in the separate times. It's trying to see that the Chinese millions of the parents use that recycling way of the gas, make it a very sustainable use, and they think that, well, you are doing that not outside pleasure. Actually, you're doing that according to the development of your phase of economic and the social development. So sustainable use is very much core. I'd like to think that this is something that we can further get our message to all the decision makers. Three things very important. Number one, policy. Number two, law. And number three, best practice. So that people to see that best practice in each of that area. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Sustainable use is the second pillar of CBD, Convention on Biodiversity, which is equivalent to the official opinion, the standpoint of IUCN, and I fully share this vision. You asked about the timing. Sustainable use is a procedure, introducing and practicing it. This will take time. It's very difficult thing when you have to start and doing it better and more better. About more concretely about the space, it's about the integral utilization of the available space on Earth. We see that the nature and the natural areas are more and more fragmented, and encroaching, building up activities, uses for food production, land uses for energy production. It's really evident we don't have 2, 3 Earths, we have just one Earth. That's why we have to make compromises. It's practically this issue about sustainable use. But we must take prioritizing, and there are areas which are used, unfortunately, for motorways, but there should be territories which are exclusively used for pristine nature. We must find realistic compromises, seeking for better conditions for nature. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me look at the ladies now.
Good afternoon. My name is Arjuna Deva. I'm from Nepal. I'm one of the councillors, current councillors, and also running for the next term. We are going to be into some very tough times in the council that's going to be elected. My question is to all three of you. In these very difficult times, what is your experience in institutional transitions? Because we are going to be in transition. We've had a budget drop of almost 25%. So what is your experience and how do you think you could address it?
Thank you, Madam. Not only our organization, which is remarkable in the transitional period and in the difficult time, actually the whole world encountered, along with the government change, globalization, and also climate change, in a very much challenging and changing time. So how to change our distribution to the changing world as a new leader, I think is another one issue. My experience formerly in the business, in the government, in the academia, in the international organization tells me that we got to be proactive, number one. Number two, being a good leader, you have to listen. You cannot bring with your set experience forward. Wherever you go, there are some similarities, but there is also, if you open the door and listen, there is a marvelous solution. So how to build the consensus? The changing to the changing time is something, is an evolutionary process. I must first listen to all the constituencies, to the members, to the commissions, which are our scientific backbone. And meanwhile, to think that how to gear this mainstream of this global mechanism like MDG, like climate change, like the +20 growth. So how to let biodiversity deal with that? So it should be a somewhat evolutionary process. But for some immediate things have to address, like fundraising, we must take some very active steps. But when we broaden our partners, we must be careful in selecting the new partners. So that's what I have. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much for your question. It's a good opportunity finishing my first thought. Institutional transition we are facing, evidently. It has two coins, two sides. This coin has two sides. One is the resources, the other one is the utilization. We are at present very bad in the utilization. That's why the resources are slowly diminishing. We are taking very strong efforts about keeping the resources. We are relatively successful in it, but the resources are diminishing because we are not good enough. Our utilization method is not good. What we should do, one hand, mobilizing our membership, and empowering ourselves by the membership, and then enlarging our network with real cooperation with other sectors of the society. This way is the empowering the union. The other part is the efficiency. We are far not efficient. We must grow our efficiency, the quality and the quantity and the kindness of our work. And this will bring the resources back and increase the available resources. Then we are better on this market. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid we are in for a period where change is going to be the only constant, because things are changing rapidly around us. And the only thing that is lagging behind all the time are the institutions. At government level, at municipal level, but also very often at civil society level. Because we are not quick enough, prepared enough to see the change coming. So one of the main things I would be preoccupied with if I were to be your president, would be to enhance our preparedness, really enhance our preparedness, to be ready for change, and to develop a structure and organization and also funding mechanisms that are as flexible as possible. I think that's the only possible way forward. I happen to think that we have one strength, both in the sense that we are a very diverse and rich membership, but also in the fact that we are oriented to looking at things from a horizontal perspective, from a systems perspective, whereas most other institutions are very vertical. And what the world will need tomorrow are more of horizontal outlooks, more of systems-oriented thinking. That's the only way to solve the problems. And that's why I think partnerships are going to be very, very important. And not only partnerships within sort of the traditional green sector, but also with others. Because I think if we don't come along or come across with a message that also is open for all the social problems in the world, and try to find synergies between the social and ecological problems, we are not going to be successful. Just imagine that you would arrive in Spain today or in Greece and start talking about biodiversity when 25